Absolutely right, though.
I heard you rattle on often enough that you're not going to interrupt me.
Right, exactly.
Never said a word. Give me a point of order, Mayor. You'll win. Okay, you'll win.
Joe.
Well, it's a matter for the council to determine, and he's raised a point of order, and all those who agree with Mr. Shea will indicate so.
You mean, and your point of order is that this is agenda item 6, and that's when we'll discuss.
There's the opportunity to talk about it. Now we're talking about agenda intake. I'm not trying
And
to
it
stop
is
you.
intake. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, then tell us what your intake item is.
Yep.
Are there any other items about which the council would like to discuss at a future meeting?
Yeah, I want to talk at a future meeting about what is the policy of the Cedar Rapids government. Is it to provide work for folks from other communities and other states? Is that our policy to do that? If it is, then I just need to accept that and quit complaining about it. It was never my understanding of that. I was elected to represent people in the Cedar Rapids. That's what I've been trying to do, not other folks.
It is now on the list to be dealt with in the future.
And I support that, and particularly in light of the conversation that we had yesterday with our financial and economic tools, and those that we're going to try and expand on. There were a couple different best practices mentioned, and Councilmember Julik asked some follow-up questions on that. And I think that supports the vision and mission as we continue to improve those economic development policies.
Anything else you would like to add, Mr. Julik?
So I support that.
Yes, and I don't know when staff is going to get back, from that meeting on some of those specific issues. And I guess that's the only question I have is it relates to the time frame for getting that on our agenda.
I was not able to be at that meeting, so I'm a little bit in the dark with regard to that.
Maybe on the forecast too.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I didn't see it on the forecast.
Yeah.
We'll report on the timing of that next week.
Okay.
And my understanding is part of that discussion already was should include, the economic incentive policy should include the issue of local preference for contracting.
Well, and any clawback provisions for incentive programs, et cetera.
Sure.
And that's what John North talked about yesterday.
Understood.
Are there other items for the agenda planning for future meetings?
Mayor, as I look through this, and I want to make sure this is the right place to bring this up, but I would like all of our items, I'd like to know 4 things about all of our discussion items that come forward. I want to know specific information in the title so that it's not just about the stormwater management, but I don't want to just have an update. I want to know what the specific information is, 1. Number 2, who is bringing it forward? So in every case, I'd like to know if a staff member is bringing forward a discussion item, who is the staff member that's asked for it? And then who are the 4 council members that are agreeing that that be brought forward to take time and discussion? And then 3, goals and priorities that comes under. And 4, what decision possibly will be made at some point from this information? Because I feel like we've had endless updates, and we've got a lot of priority activities here, and I feel like we're not getting them done. So, for example, August 19th, we have a Stormwater Commission progress report that's put on our work session. I'd like to have that. I mean, PowerPoints are turning into sour points for me. We spend an inordinate amount of time hearing, and they're all beautiful, they're well done, but I think we've got to limit and have staff get to the point, what's the issue we're framing up, what's the decision or the discussion, where are we leading this to? So August 19th, Stormwater Commission progress report. We could get a progress report literally on every single sub-department of every department in this city, and we could do it every month. That's, to me, not what we're about. So I'd like the council to have a discussion on, can we get that information for every item that's non-routine, that comes before us, and so that we frame these issues more tightly. And I don't want to hear an update on the Stormwater Commission unless the Stormwater Commission is asking for more money, less money, unless the Stormwater Commission needs a new ordinance or is forecasting they need a new ordinance. If we're not going to make decisions on these things, I don't want to spend time on an update. Send it to me by email and I will read it. But I don't want to take time, and I don't want to do it just because of the televisions. So we need to discuss this because it's like a runaway train. So if you go through September 2nd work session also has the same kind of thing. We have a citizen survey presentation of results. That can be a brown bag unless we're going to make some decision or lead to a decision. I think that's a perfect item for a brown bag, but not for city council meetings, at least in my opinion. We've got a placeholder September 16th for infill task force. If we don't have some kind of decision that's leading up to, I don't want to have it on the agenda.
You make your position very clear. Mr. Wernicke.
I've sat in the council for a year and a half now, and I understand what you're saying, Monica. I love shorter meetings too and everything, but I don't know how the city manager and the staff are, I don't know how they can help but be confused by what you're saying, and I will tell you why. For a year and a half, I've listened to council members, rightly so sometimes, but constantly complaining that we don't know what's going on. You need to tell us about everything. We need reports on 50 different items. And now I'm hearing, I don't want to have reports on items. You just bring me something I have to make a decision on. And so I guess I understand your concerns, I really do. But I will admit, I'm not one of the smartest people in the world. You have me totally confused. For a year and a half I listened that you're not telling us anything, we don't know anything, and now I'm hearing, well, by God, I don't want to hear anything, you just come to me with something that needs to have a decision made. So I apologize, I don't know what you're asking these poor people for.
Well, I would be happy to shed some light on what I'm asking for. I think there's a lot of ways to get information. And I think in this kind of formal, under the camera, under the lights situation is the time and place for the council to discuss strategy, to work up to making decisions. I think, yes, there's a lot of background information we need, but in this day and age of electronic media and there's a lot of different ways we can get information. So, send the PowerPoints by all means, but I'm not sure we have to sit here so that, 3/4 of our time is having presentations made to us. That's just, it's something we need to discuss as a council, but I think that this should not be the only place where we get information given to us, this or brown bags. There's a lot of ways to learn.
And I will answer, I do agree with you totally. But it's just that what I want something decided, we do need to talk as a council, it's this. I just as soon have the PowerPoints set, read them, and come and make decisions. I agree with that. But what I've seen by actions the last year and a half, if it isn't done that way, we're jumping all over the staff saying, oh, you guys are running things, not asking us. I'm all for it. Send it, we'll discuss it here, but I want to make clear that the council agrees, if we're going to do it that way, I don't want to come to a council meeting where